holding on, I wouldn't let you go. 'Cause every time I try, you find a loophole. I've been slamming.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi with another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're hearing this, that's normal. Oh, the struggle is real. In today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are getting ready to set up our spread for the month of April. So while I'm still not completely 100% sure how this is all going to come out, I thought that we would kind of go over. I'm adding a few new spreads this month because I really wanted to bring intentionality back into the way that I'm planning, and I'm not really going to be placing a large importance on my daily spreads as I do. I'm finding that like I'm very happy with my weekly spreads more than I am with my dailies. So that is one thing that is changing. You will also find that I will be creating another reflection page where I have a chance at the end of the month to reflect on how the month has gone. And I find that as I'm getting ready for these videos, it's actually quite helpful to just, fill out some of the areas that really went well. I really wanted to capture spring as playful and light and lots of fun. So, but not as much fun as, like June. Like, let's not get carried away here. It's not summertime yet. So for spring, so if it kind of looks like a hot mess, then please forgive that. I'm a work in progress. It's totally cool. I kind of like the way that it's, like the direction that it's going, and you will also find that a couple of my spreads are moving more into the direction of like intentionality, which is really what I wanted to use my bullet journal for. You will probably not find one tracker from me. I'm sorry. I usually don't use tracker. I can sit and doodle that for like hours, and honestly I never end up going and filling it out. So any of the spreads that I find that I feel like it's redundant or it's just a complete waste of my time, I'm not going to be including that in a monthly setup. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. I will be adding in a couple of like brain dump pages because I'm going to be creating content, and I really love like creating like a structure around how I want to kind of organize my thoughts. So if that sounds good, then I will just turn on the music and then let's get started. Honestly, for the cover page, I ended up changing my mind. So now I went in with some watercolor. So right now I'm just drawing a 6x6 square, and I'm putting some washi tape in the middle of it so that I can watercolor all around it. This is a smooth finished watercolor paper, so this is designed for watercolor. And you will see, like, as I start working with different colors, the idea is basically to have colors running all around the diamond shape, and then we can put in some whimsical flowers and decorate it. I'm not going to be showing you all of the colors here because honestly it was quite a long video, so I'm just going to skip to the part where I will show you the very end of it. And as you can tell, I'm picking a different color scheme by each of the side of the diamond. And some of it, I can kind of let it run together. But really, it's just here you can use whatever colors you're drawn to. I wanted to bring some really bright, light colors. I'm constantly drawn to the pastel colors. So obviously, and then of course, just that fact alone that you're watching the colors sort of bleed into each other, you definitely want to use the watercolor paper. It's totally worth it, and it's not very, very thick, so it doesn't become very bulky when you transfer it into your bullet journal. And here once I'm sort of finished, I let everything dry, and I actually just drew in some of the whimsical elements that I'm going to be using here. So a lot of it is just very floral and plants and nature, so I kind of just end up repeating a lot of that pattern all throughout the entire design. and I kept it fairly black, but then you will probably see later on I went in with a metallic bronze colored pen just so that we can add a little bit of a contrast here.
Goodbye. Give me a heart trip exclusively. Take one step like this song in my head. It makes sense if you jump in my bed. I see the truth in your smile. I gotta swim to the I love you. We don't wanna spend this night alone. Messed up, I'm gonna walk you home. You'd feel the gravity of my heart. If I could, I would give you the moon. Say stop if I'm coming in too soon. Colliding like celestial bodies. Oh, oh. Celestial bodies. Celestial bodies. Oh, oh. Celestial bodies. Celestial bodies.
So once the design is completed, like as you can tell, I'm coming to the very end of it here. You will see how I transferred that into my bullet journal. So as you can tell, obviously I changed my cover page, hence why we are covering it, because I wanted something a little bit more intricate than the very basic design that I initially did. I did cut off the edges of the paper so I can kind of trim it to be the right size, and I'm just using some basic paper glue. And here I'm just sketching in the actual lettering for April. And if you're wondering about the pen that I'm using a black soft touch Pilot pen. It's one of my favorite brush pens. Like the tips are very soft and very bendable, so it's very easy to work with it. For the month at a glance, I'm changing it up just a tiny bit. I usually put the numbers at the edge of the screen here. I mean at the edge of the paper. Here I'm kind of putting everything right in the middle. So I just drew like a column here and I put the numbers on each side, and I highlighted when the weekend happens, just so that it makes it a lot easier to kind of structure the weeks. And on the side, on the right side of the page, there's basically a column for goals, what I don't want to forget, so anything that I want to kind of remember or keep track of for the month. I'm also keeping track of the moon cycle, so when the full moon is and the new moon is, and I listed that after.
And climbed over your fence, had to show you that I was a mess. So you were shrugging your shoulders and closed off. That's what I told you. Soon enough, everything started to change. 'Cause there's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your own.
Sticking with the watercolor theme, I created a page, as you can tell, like just on the right hand side here, I created a full page of basically just watercolor running, and then after that I just sort of cut out those pieces so that I can use those elements to write my calendar in and goals. And in the very bottom I'm using that as sort of like the weekly intention. So I changed up a little bit of how I arranged my weekly setup, but I really wanted to add elements of the watercolor in here.
Like nothing could stop us. Sunsets, remember the colors. They were wrong, it was way more than a dream. We climbed up, yeah, over the hillside. So right, we stood there all wide-eyed. You and I floating on air in my mind. No going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying high. I'm standing on the dizzying highs. I'm standing on the dizzying highs. I'm standing on the dizzying highs. Standing on the dizzying highs. Everything's so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing right up together. Standing on dizzying highs. Everything's so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing right up together. Standing on the dizzying highs. Every time that my mind slip, I just see my past life. Having dreams in a dream, I wonder why I carried on with the things that made you lose your mind. There's no way I can undo what I've done. Can we be strangers again? Start fresh like a morning. What's so bad about that? So why won't you follow? Why won't you follow me home? I know I can't make you mine. Yes, I ran out of town. There's no hope for me. I fell down the bottom, so I fell down way deep. But if I can't have the real you, then let me make a 3D print of you. All my friends keep on saying that I'm better off alone. They don't know what it feels like, but I do. So you faded out while I watched it down, obsessed with myself. Wanna hit the reverse on what's broken. Can we be strangers again? Start fresh like a morning. But what's so bad about that? So why won't you follow? Why won't you follow me home? I know I can't make you mine. Yes, I ran out of town. There's no hope for me. I fell down the bottom.
Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me in today's video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you liked it. I would love to see some of your creations, so just hit me up on Instagram and tag me on some of your stuff, especially if you watch this video. I would love to see what you are creating, because I'm pretty sure that you're a whole lot more talented than I am. But nevertheless, I really appreciate you hanging out with me each and every month as we are sitting down and setting up our bullet journals. And if you are brand new here, then obviously consider subscribing. You can also hit the notifications so that you get notified every single time that I release a video. I usually chat with you here on this channel about 3 times a week. Sometimes we talk about bullet journals and how we can get a little bit more organized. Other times we talk about and create spiritual practices, or just ultimately the idea behind this channel is to help you become a more intentional human in general. Email, because I kind of go into a few different topics each week. I usually release a recap email every single Sunday that I send out to my email community. It shows you some of the best takeaways and summaries from each of my videos, and I also kind of give you a breakdown of what's coming up next for the following week. That way, you don't miss anything. That sounds good? You can sign up for it. The link is in the description, so you can sign up for it completely free and complimentary. And in the meanwhile, I hope you keep bullet journaling. I hope you keep doodling and you enjoy yourself, and keep seeking, you guys. And I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.